In this video, I'm going to show you how I made poke with this Humuhumu Ele Ele. If you've been following our blog, you know that we're very into sustainability and we love fishing. So what we decided to do is see if we can make food, and hopefully delicious food, with the species that we normally throw back, the ones that nobody wants, so that we can let the ones that people want to catch and the ones that the pressure is on, we can let them go and continue breeding to replenish that stock. So let's get started. Skin of the humuhumu is very tough, hard to cut. So I start near the middle of the fish, use my fillet knife, and work my way to the back of the tail, cutting through and then cut at the top. Holding the back down, running the blade along the spine to cut the fillet off. And here's where it gets hard. Making the cut by the fin here to remove the fillet is going to be very difficult, and I do not like to use my knife because I don't want to ruin the blade. So what I do is I get my kitchen shears and start to cut the skin. You can hear the blade cutting through the scales. It's very difficult to cut. So there I have one fillet. And now I'll do the same to the other side. Now that I have a nice flat surface, I can start at the closer to the back, make the cut. I'm washing the blade off because I got some scales on it. Follow the spine and cut all the way to the fin. You gotta cut through some bones there, so that's why it's a little bit harder. Take my shears and cut the fillet off. There I have the other fillet. I'll keep the centerpiece to use as decoration for the poke. What I do with this centerpiece is I'll fry it later on. So since we're going to be making raw fish, I want to make sure the board's clean, make sure there's no scales, clean off my knife, and what I do here is instead of removing the entire skin at one crack, I leave it on and slice off the pieces that I'm going to be using for the poke. So I'll do this for both sides. And as I get closer toward the center, I'll make some slits to remove the pin bones. Okay, now I'm getting to the second fillet. We skipped over cutting all the little pieces off. I took a bigger piece off in this case, making sure I get all the meat. I'm not making nigiri sushi here, so I just need little chunks for the poke. I'm trying to be very careful here to take as much meat off of the fish as possible so we don't waste anything. Finishing up, taking the rib cage off here and trying to get the last little bit of meat we can from this fillet. There's nothing much we can do with the skin. All of the remainder is just going to end up being rubbish. So now it's preparation time. I'm going to take all the little pieces, throw them in a bowl, and get everything all ready. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly salt it. Take a little bit of salt, sprinkle it on, and massage it into the pieces. Uh, the meat, when it's fresh, is a little crunchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it in the refrigerator for 24 hours before I prepare the poke. So I'll cover it with a paper towel, put it in the fridge. Here's the next day. What I've done is I've chopped up some white onions, and I'll take some green onions that I've already chopped up and sprinkle them on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some shoyu soy sauce, sprinkle just a little bit on. This is not so much for taste, more for color. And then I'm going to mix in some sesame oil. So I use my chopsticks, which we made from wood that we found. Those are all hand carved, hand planed. We'll make a video showing you how to make those chopsticks. And sprinkle a little bit more green onions on, mainly for the color. And that's it. It's pretty much done. Just a little bit more oil. And it's exactly like how I want it. And it's ready to eat. So I'll take one piece to try. And it's perfect. And that's how to make poke with the Humuhumu Ele Ele. And two of us ate it for dinner. It was pretty darn delicious.